Hello friends! Today we're going to read a story and it's called "And to Think That We Thought That We'll Never Be Friends." Look, all these pictures in this book, all the musical instruments and some animals. And to think that we thought that we'll never be friends. One day we were playing outside in our yard when my brother got mad and pushed me so hard that I pushed him right back with all of my might, and quick as a wink we were having a fight. We whacked and walloped away, and we still might be fighting to this very day, pinching and punching, my brother and I, if only our sister had not happened by. She was sipping some soda pop out of a cup, and she said she would share if we would make up. And since we were thirsty and tired and sore, we each took a drink, and we ended our war. It's funny how quickly an argument ends, and to think that we thought that we never be friends. That night, after supper, we turned on TV, but we couldn't agree on what show we should see. I wanted one and my sister another, and both of us hated the choice of our brother. And we probably all would be arguing yet if our dad hadn't come and turned off the set. So we put on pajamas, curled up in his bed, and he read us a wonderful story instead. It's funny how quickly an argument ends, and we thought that we'd never be friends. A day or two later, it wasn't much more, a great big new family moved in right next door. How many were in there? I couldn't quite tell, but they each played an instrument, not very well. One played a tuba and one a bassoon. They practiced all morning and all afternoon. They practiced all evening and all through the night, and they kept us from sleeping, and that wasn't right. So we got out of our bed with a hippity hop, and we marched off together to beg them to stop. But then we arrived there. They asked us to play, and they did it so nicely that what could we say? I took a whistle, my sister a flute, and my brother a trumpet that gave a loud toot. My dad took a bugle, my mother a drum, and we all forgot totally why we had come. It's funny how quickly an argument ends, and to think that we thought that we'll never be friends. Then, all of a sudden, we heard a loud blare as a siren came wailing from out of thin air. A police car pulled over. out jumped the police, and they told us that we were disturbing the peace. And they said if we didn't stop playing that minute, they'll take us to jail and put all of us in it. My brother got red and my sister grew pale, and everyone trembled at going to jail. But my mother explained that the noise we had made was because we were practicing for a parade. And she said that the siren had sounded so great that she hoped they would ride in ahead of our band. It's funny how quickly an argument ends. Now all of the police had turned into our friends. We marched down the street, and each person we passed loudly complained of our ear-splitting blast. But they begged us to deaden and defeating din until we invited them all to join in. We offered them boxes and kettles and spoons, and once they were playing, they all changed their tunes. They all were so pleased by the music we made that they became part of our splendid parade. More and more people stepped right into place. More and more people kept up with our pace, struggling and striding and stumping their feet, marching in time to the drum's steady beat. Friends who had squabbled and even stopped talking settled their differences once they were walking, smiled at each other, and marched hand in hand, keeping the beat out of wonderful band. And then we could hardly believe what we saw. Dog and cat enemies march paw in paw. And then our procession arrived at the zoo. Lions and tigers joined with us too. It's funny how quickly unfriendliness ends. And to think that we thought that they could never be friends. Our music was magic, a magnet to all, as to a piper they came at its call. And as we kept marching and tooting and drumming, the people kept coming and coming and coming. Hundreds and thousands came running to find us. Thousands and millions fell in right behind us. What a cacophony, what a commotion. Then all of a sudden we got to the ocean. We came to the place where the whole country ends, with hundreds and thousands and millions of friends. Oh, what could we do now? We started to fret. We couldn't keep marching without getting wet. Then, just as we all began turning around, we heard a most odd and unusual sound. It wasn't a moan, and it wasn't a cry. It wasn't a groan, and it wasn't a sigh. It was more like a hum hum high up the scale, a whisper, a whistle, or whimper, or wail. I wonder what that was. You guys have a guess? Let's see. A whale. No. A whale. Yes, 100 or more. And all of them swimming straight into the shore, singing their whale songs and grinning with glee. So we jumped on their backs and sailed straight out to sea. Sharks swam around us while baring their teeth. Stingrays kept rising from far underneath. But somehow the songs and the music we played convinced them to join in our ocean parade. For music is magic. It soothes and it mends. And to think that we thought that we'll never be friends. We crossed the wide ocean and washed up on land, where people kept hearing the sound of our band. And even the ones who first came to protest soon were parading along with the rest. And it's hard to believe, but I swear it's true. By the time we were finished and finally through, and we'd all gotten back to the place we first played, the whole world was marching in one big parade. And before we disbanded and each went our way, we voted to march every year on that day, to march side by side with the friends we had made and the friends we'd made up with in one big parade. And from that day to this, that is just what we do, with the police siren blaring and horns tooting too, with our pots and our pans and our trumpets and our drums, and everyone, everyone, everyone comes. And this is our cheer every year when it ends. Forever and ever, we'll always be friends. The end.